Oh boy. I'm very excited to do this. So, what I'm doing for these style of videos is I'm going through everything this guy has said. You're gonna find out what he is, but I'm gonna go through everything that he said, and I'm gonna see if it's right or wrong. If it's right, I'll definitely say why, and I'll give the penalty mainly and why, and if he got it wrong, in my opinion, why. Now, there's some things that weren't really tied to event. They're more just statements of, like, say, let me choose an example. Are the worker drones children or not? That's just an example. Like, it's not really tied to a moment. It could be multiple moments, or it's just something to talk about, which I'm fine with. So, I have the whole list. There were 13 in total, plus 2 from my update video. And I'm not going to say how many are right, how many are wrong. And again, this is my opinion. I'm not trying to cause any harm to you. But, there are 2 more things. One, I thought I wasn't going to do any more updates for crime counts until episode 8 released. Then I do the crime count for that. Then a little while after, I just do the whole crime. Here's something. He might miss some stuff. So I might still have a thing. And even so, the recount is also just putting it all together. Refurbish is making it better. So even if nothing's changed, I'm going to say something did change here. I'm just going to say that. Even if nothing's changed, I'm obviously going to make a remake. Like, something's about to change. So, yeah. So, what I'm doing is I'm going to first do the orders of, like, the ones that are really not tied to a moment. And then I'm just going to do the orders of, he said, so, like, I'm going to do the one that happened on 11:09, then 11:18, and so on. One last thing, I have it in the order of when it happened, the crime, the person who committed the crime, is it a yes or no? If it's a yes, say the penalty, and also why, and if it's no, say why. So, I think that's enough explanation. Let's get to it. So, yeah, this is the guy. So, he first said, okay, yeah, I didn't know actually what I was eating. I was thinking like mac and cheese or something, but probably not. I think it was those Little Bite muffins, but I'm not too sure. So here we go. This is really 2 things, but actually, we're going on. This is the first one. Actually, Uzi's around 20 years old, but since her classmates are in their early 20s, there was a page on the wall at some point. It was episode 3's missing posters. So every crime regarding being child is revoked. I don't want to be a guy, that's known, so sorry, I'm just passionate about Murder Jones. Dude, I'm passionate about Murder Jones. It is fine. And we already clarified that. And surprise, yes, it's only been a day. It does not feel like a day. So, what's the information? Well, it's saying, are the worker drones mature? Now, what do I mean? Make sure what this... Oh, yeah, I know what that is. What do I mean that they're mature? Well, I searched up legal age, and you could probably already guess it's 18. So, yeah, they wouldn't be charged as children, and I don't think I did anything about child crimes. But I'm going to say, so, is anybody? Well, a lot of students are 18 or 19, so they're definitely mature. Uzi, she's 18. I mean, to be honest, she's 18. So, okay, I do not disagree with that. Just making sure I have... Yeah, they're definitely above 18. They're definitely mature enough. But there is a problem. They might mature faster or slower than us humans. But since they were made by humans, I'm just going to give the benefit of the doubt with the information. They are above children age. Now, what you also didn't talk about is these seem to be the worker drones or after in the society. So I was saying, before the society, were they mature enough? Yes. They were mature enough because they made the society. So I just wanted to get that clarified. So almost all the drones are mature enough to be fully charged as adults. Now, how about murder drones? Yeah. So the next thing is actually right here. I know it has a time frame, but it was just using it as an example, and I don't really do that. So it was kind of a tiny bit difficult to digest, but it's fine. Okay, so on the crimes should that means the crimes. So I was confused on the thing, so I was looking up and I realized against basically against robots. So that means every crime where the worker drone is the victim should not be counted because they're all property of J.C. Jensen, their creator. They don't have their legal human rights passed. Yeah, but if you were to try to, considering the company made it them, and made it that is them that should get that they should get charged for child neglect. Kind of hazy, so making AI designed to kill probably counts as the company. We know that the murder drones were not made by J.C. Jensen. They were made by Sin, Absolute Solver, whatever you call it. So, and also child neglect. Didn't you literally just say that they weren't children? Well, technically not. You did talk about the worker drones, but not the murder drones. Are the murder drones mature enough? V and J are definitely mature enough. N is the confusing one. Yes and no, but in this case, it's not childish, so no. Also, if it's not considered a child, if it is hiring a hitman, probably a crime. No, because like I said, Sin sent the murder drones. Also, if it's not hiring a tiny hitman, times 3 each day, forcing them to kill isn't much better, and all the worker drones trying neglecting Adrian's, that's 2 times 100. We just said that I did the OSHA violations for when they were working, so that's fine. But no. Okay, like I said, they're not. You literally just said they're not children, and we already classified as not hitmen. So, in my opinion, none of this is right. In my opinion. Last thing before we get into the time ones, I already showed you as an example. You say also having crime against them, basically when he's the victim, should not be count because he is technically a traitor, and the others probably enforce his death sentence, assuming they're technically high rank officials. That's basically what I got from that. Okay, but really, well, they're not high rank officials because they weren't made by J.C. Jensen. They were made to just kill. So, yeah. So it's not. So that doesn't count. But also the fact that he was forced to be a murder drone. Since they're full on AI, being forced to work is kind of bad, but how about the whole work drone thing? Well, that's fine. There's probably some sort of law that made it fine, and I already charged them the OSHA violations for that for J.C. Jensen. But forced to kill? Yeah, that's a whole nother different story. Unless if it's in very specific cases. But in the case here, no. Just no. What do you mean? They got orders from JC Jensen. I was saying they thought it was right to do so. Well, yeah. It's not. Just because of the fact... Well, yeah, N's not, technically not a traitor. He's not a traitor because he was forced to be a murder drone, and if he didn't want to be a murder drone, he stopped being a murder drone, but that's considered a traitor, but he didn't even want to be on this side in the first place, so he's not a traitor. So we got that clarified. Let's start with the time frames. Yeah, this video is probably going to be long, so it's already 10 minutes. Here we go. You got 10 moments here. First one. Small correction at 11 minutes and 9 seconds. Isn't it copyright? So I don't know the value of the crime. Wait. Oh, yeah. So... This goes somewhere. Sorry. So I searched it up, and up to 5 years in prison and $250,000 fine. But I didn't count this. Why? Well, look. The only evidence we ever even have of this is the fact that Uzi said she literally pirated anime, and they said it was useless. Well, they said pirating all that anime was useless. But what context is that in? Fighting N. Let's get that.
Whoa. And they said pirating all that anime was useless.
So, what? Well, you can make a case that Uzi did this to train to fight the murder drones. And while you can't really disprove that, there's not enough evidence to really do that. And so, in my opinion, Uzi's justified in this case because she used it to train to fight the murder drones. And obviously, I already justified on why you can, fight the murder drones. Hold on. Give me a minute. Sorry, guys. I just had to do something real quick. So, yeah. Anyways, Uzi is justified with this reason. So, this is why I am not charging Uzi. So, what's next? The next one, sorry if I'm looking at my paper a lot. The next one, see if this works, is N assaulting Uzi. This is right here. Oh yeah, the time frames I put here is my reaction video, not the actual points here. So I'm just gonna say that because it's my video right there. Ooh, this is interesting. So I knew what he was talking about. He was talking about assault with the intent to kill. I searched it up, and it's giving me intent to kill, not assault. The intent to kill, I think. Assault was the intent to murder. But I do realize what I'm saying, and from the looks of it, this does work. The examples it showed did not work. But okay, this is the first thing he was right about. Kind of. And the reason why I'm saying kind of is I knew this existed. I don't know if I talked about this, I don't know if not. But I didn't count. I said this, that I'm only, in fighting scenes, I'm only going to do one thing. I'm only going to count attempted murder once. And I probably should have explained it a little more. But that really also meant that I'm just counting one whole fight, even if it had multiple assault with the intent to commit murder charges. I'm only going to do one attempted murder. So that's why. That's why. So I'm going to go through those moments at the end. To do all that. I'm just going to do that at the end. Including the other one. Well, including the other ones that are right. Sorry, I forgot the S. So, okay. You were right about that. Because I didn't really decide to include it. Yeah. Next up. Now, you kind of didn't put these in order. Well, you did. Except for one, but it's fine. 1612. Assault for J for hitting him. And that was N. If it was just rebooting, then she would have asked or pressed a button, which would not be assault, but since she punched, I slapped. And punching an asleep person is assault. I'm guessing 2 counts as 1 since you're so close. Or 2, I don't know, correct me. So, let's first talk about the reason why he's talking about 2. Well, 1 is J for hitting him, and 2, hitting an asleep person. That's still the same thing. So, it would only be 1 assault charge. But, no. Let me explain why.
Knocked himself offline. Moron box. Hello.
Let's actually get a little more context.
We gotta work. Synergistic.
I kind of want to practice balloon animal shapes with. What happened here?
Synergistic liability here must have tripped and knocked himself offline.
So first, she said that N somehow lost, basically knocked himself offline. Okay. Then she slapped N,
Moron box.
had some
Hello.
reboot code, whatever, and then he turned back to normal. And he's saying that's assault. But there is actually something I want to talk about. These are robots, so it's kind of confusing with the AI. But if they have protocols, it's presumably fine.
Liability here must have tripped and knocked himself offline.
And especially if the person who's being assaulted says it's actually fine. In this case, N is okay.
Moron box. Hello.
But let's look. If you can't see it, let me go here. Harder reboot initiated. Slap accepted. Yeah, character trait level video. There's the trait. So yeah, slap accepted. That means that the slap is an official way to reboot Emergent or maybe just N. So it shouldn't be against the law. And you know what's really funny? I'm not trying to be like mean or anything, but I remember that when I was looking through these comments originally. I remember that moment. I've watched episode 1 so much that if you tell me something about a crime, I could probably just tell you there if it's right or wrong. And with my reasoning. I am so developed in this. This is too bad for my own good. So anyways, this, in my opinion, is wrong. I don't know why you put this out or but whatever. Remember that Khan left Uzi died, so you forgot child neglect. So if you already do not know...
Move, Dad!
So if you already don't know what's already wrong with what he just said, in my opinion, again, I'm just going to say carefully, what I mean by wrong, what I mean by right, is in my opinion, I feel like that he is wrong with the evidence that I have to support my opinion. But I also sometimes have evidence to not support my opinion. So I'm just going to clarify that because I don't want to keep saying I'm sorry, because this is giving me flashbacks to my first reaction video. Anyways, Yeah. If you already don't know what was
Shoot.
wrong
Trust
with
me.
what he said there, well,
Ted?
So, let's first look. First of all, if you already said, child. Not child. Not child neglect. But, okay, let's just write on it. He was literally scared. You literally saw in his face that he was scared to end. And I feel like you shouldn't be charged for running away with your life instead of trying to save somebody. That doesn't make any sense. And finally, he even did set off an alarm. Even though it basically didn't do anything, he did set off an alarm, so at least he was caring for some people. But it shows that he does, and it kind of further proves that second point. So, in my opinion, that is wrong. Then let's go here, which is an interesting point. Did N commit treason? I think you already talked about it, whatever. Oh. What do you mean? Let me just check real quick. Oh, yeah. He talked to the worker drone and, basically didn't follow what the company said, so Jay basically tried to kill him. And thank you, dude. Thank you. So, no. First of all, I already said that he was forced to be a murder drone, so treason shouldn't really count. And even if this is all fine, the fact, I searched it up. Searched it up 3 times. It gave me different results, but meaning every single time I read all these. You can read all these if you want. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna talk about fictional. We're doing charges using our real laws, so that doesn't count. And finally, so I looked at those 3 because I felt like that was enough. I did not see any reason to count that JC Jensen should have a policy that a drone should die for being a traitor, because again he was forced. So no. And the property, he actually, don't know if he got that wrong. Let me check real quick. Cause he's talking about the ventilation break.
Dreaming, or did you do something?
Ear each.
Might be wrong. Get the feeling the company doesn't actually.
This is trespassing, so they get a year each.
I get.
It's like at the 19-minute mark, but that's fine. He was basically talking about when Jay went up, so like, ooh, it was a reminder, so that's fine. This is the other thing. This was one of the things I did not count even in my update reaction video, because I would have marked it down here and I didn't. So I'm charging V with property destruction, but what? It says, yeah. So it says a leaky section, so $600 definitely is not enough. But I was like, to professionally remove mold from a large duct system. I was thinking, that seems right. So I just charged V $6,000. So hey, good job. And we still got to do those the assault things with the intent to kill. And again, those are iffy. So I'm gonna talk about that real quick. I guess again, those are really iffy. The assault with the intent to kill. So what I'm going to do is really every time it's a murder case where they do not get immediately murdered, I'm just going to count one count. If it actually does look like assault as well. So not like a punch as a joke and then they shoot. If you get enough evidence. So yeah. Next up. Right here. Reckless handling of a deadly weapon. I know where this was, so we can go to that right now. That is what he was talking about. Now, there's only... Okay, let's talk about... Reckless, I'm just going to say, it could have gone to somebody else, right? Well, it couldn't be any of the worker drones because they already went away, so it could only be 33 people, because not counting J. It would only be Uzi, N, or V. It was definitely targeted towards Uzi, so it couldn't really be Uzi. And she was also trying to kill N at times in this fight. Even if you can't see it. So really the only one could have been was V. And V knew that was fine. And the fact that J was trying to kill Uzi. So that's fine. So I did not count that. Next one. EMPs are illegal. This is the third thing that was right. But the very weird thing is that I couldn't find a penalty for it. The only penalty I found was the fact that you could be charged with if you put it in space. And they're obviously not in space. They're on a planet. So, I mean, I could go look. I mean... Yeah, and I'm obviously not going to ask a real life lawyer for this. So, yes, but I couldn't find a penalty because we do not have a suitable consequence. And it's really, even if we can, it would just be used as the same. So, sorry. Never thought I would see this. But a sexual assault by N. Now, there were two moments. I did talk about this in episode 1. Well, I talked about the first moment. When Uzi had her hand inside N's mouth. And N agreed. But I still talked about it. We do not know what happened inside the mouth. Just saying. But this is the other moment. Okay. Context. They're fighting. N has the full right to fight. V does not. N looks down. Realizing Uzi might die.
I'm
Saying so sorry to V. Even though V's literally trying to kill him.
Have fun repressing this.
And he licks her blade. And somehow that got V out of her murder area. And this was actually a very smart move by N. Surprisingly, I'm going to say one of the smartest moves I've ever seen N do. Sorry for the yawn again. So that sexual assault was to save somebody. Now, I don't know if that was like saying, and it's probably going to take it in the wrong context, and I probably can't even talk about it. But I am going to say, licking someone, I guess, could technically be sexual assault, but also V was trying to kill N. So I think that is, in fact, justified. So we got one more. Forgot the kidnapping times one because N, again, is a traitor. And I already said, he's not a traitor. I already talked about that multiple times, and I'm just going to show you the scene. Because you see V's tied up there.
And believe everyone here can bite me.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Uzi.
Shut it.
He didn't even make an attempt, but that's fine. One, I already talked about why. Like, safety. It is for safety, and also the fact that he wasn't a traitor. I already talked about that he is not a traitor. And he did this also for safety. And in fact that V didn't try to kill Enter Uzi ever again. This means wrong about this. Oh, that's it. Wow. So, you are right about 3 things. 1, the assault with the intent to kill. 2, the property damage on the vent that V did, which is $6,000. And 3, the EMP thing, but I could not find a charge for this. Same thing for Uzi. I was thinking like, okay, what should I charge? I got on to something, but I was like, what? I was like, no, I'm not reading all that. Here are the 2 things that you talked about in the update, so I'm going to talk about those real quick. You would charge Sin 10 billion because it's a future. Well, first of all, this is not Earth. And even if you thought it was Earth, it's still considered mass murder. I'm still doing mass murder. So, yep. So that's not. And then the other one, you kind of already talked about it. Because, well, JC Jensen, it's their AI. And it's not destruction of property. I already talked about this. It's made by Sin, so the merge drones, they wouldn't have work. And they're AI, so they kind of have their own responsibility. So, there you go. So, there is one, so, that this really long video, I'm going to finally talk about the moments that were the assault with the intent to kill. I'm not going to add this to the crime count until when I do the recount. So, I'm going to write those down real quick, and I'll get back to you guys. Hey, I pressed the right button this time. Let's go. Anyways, here are the 3. So, here are the 4. The first one is the one that he pointed out originally. This one. The first fight that happened.
Whoa. And they said pirating all that anime was useless.
So you can probably tell what the assault with the intent to kill is. So I searched it up, and I got something pretty interesting. I decided to go with aggravated assault for the charge. Because that's basically what it was. And I couldn't really find one from it because it keeps thinking it's the intent to kill. So with the stabbing and the flinging him, across the room, I feel like that should be 20 years. It's pretty gosh darn serious with the injuries and all that. With 20 years. Next up, but another 8 minutes in, you can probably also tell where I'm aiming.
With that.
This time I won't miss.
Put it at 2 times speed so you can just go faster.
I can't have you shooting V with that thing.
Wait, Dad, get down.
You let a murder drone here? I'm gonna be yours!
Now is so not the time. I messed up. In the same way I'm about to fix it. Move, Dad.
So obviously, and that's 5 years because you're just stabbing her against the wall. Next up is kind of right before the fighting sequence. Susan, that's Jay.
So, we found our evacuation spot. What if we build a quick door?
Are you kidding me? You're the WDF, right? Defend! For real?
See, they hit Batman's crater, so that wouldn't. It's fine. I gave 10 years for each of that, because let's say J through with the punctures, and same thing for V. And then finally, and during the fighting scene, since I couldn't find a charge for an EMP, I decided to do this as aggravated assault, which I did 10 years for also, because of the EMP. So in total, V got 3rd place with 10 years and $6,000. Jay got 2nd place with 20 years. And finally, and got 1st place in something with 25 years. Congratulations. I'm going to add these totals when I do the recount, so it's obviously not now. And, yeah. That is it. Thank you guys for watching. Been a long video, but yeah. Thank you for watching my stuff. See ya!